All right, it's literacy time. So we are actually today going to just wrap up and finish our living things, our chicken unit. And we are going to start our next unit, which is maps. Okay? So there's a couple of things you're going to need today for literacy, and none of them are on Seesaw. Okay? So you might need to pause me while you go and get these things. Okay? The first thing you're going to need is my book of map skills, okay? That was in the bag that I just dropped off. The other thing you're gonna need is you are gonna need your chicken art project. So this was in the bag too. All the pieces were paper clipped together, and so you're gonna need to go and get that out. And you'll probably want scissors for this, or glue, or tape, any of those things that you have around your house, okay? Now, before we get started with those, I wanted to go over some of the questions that you guys wrote down that you wanted to learn. And when I was looking at them, most of them were answered in books or evidence that we saw while watching the chicks. And one of them I had to do some research on. So let's see. The first one is, why are eggs different colors? Does anybody remember that? I remember reading about that. Because different chicks lay different colored eggs. And remember, there are over 300 types of, I think it was hundreds. I don't even know if it was 300. It could have been more than that. Different types of chickens. And so all of them lay different eggs. I have a farmer I got some eggs from this weekend. And one of the eggs I got was a kind I've never seen before. It was a light brown with dark brown, like almost polka dot spots on it. It was really cool. So different kinds of chickens lay different eggs, and they can be different colors and look lots of different ways. How do chicks get out of the eggs? Oh, who remembers? How do they get out? What do they use that they're born with? Their egg tooth. Yes, they use their egg tooth to peck a hole all the way around the egg, and then they can push free. How long until the eggs hatch? Who remembers how long did we have to wait? It seemed like a really long time. 21 days, which is 3 weeks. We had to wait 21 days. Actually, we had to wait 20 because they hatched a day earlier. But usually they take 20 days. All right, this is the one I had to do some research on, or part of it. Can chickens fly or swim? So we know flying, they are able to fly, not very high. They can fly maybe to like the top of a fence or to a branch, but they wouldn't necessarily fly away. But swim, I didn't know that, and we didn't read that about in any of our books. So I did a little research on good old Google, and I found out that chickens probably, yes, could swim if they were thrown. They would never walk into water on their own, into a deep body of water, like a pond or something. But if they were to have fallen in a pond or something, they probably would be able to try and get out. But the problem with the chickens is that their feathers, when their feathers get really wet, they become heavy. And they become too heavy for the chicken to move around and swim and kind of paddle. So they would sink. So chickens would be able to swim for like a minute, but after that, they would sink to the bottom. So whether you want to say, yeah, they could swim, or no, they couldn't, you can decide on that answer. But after a while, they would sink to the bottom. How many eggs can chickens lay? Well, remember we learned that certain chickens are really good at laying eggs, and that's why farmers have those types of chickens, because they lay lots of eggs. But usually they'll lay about one a day, and maybe 6 in a week. Remember, there's 7 days in a week, so they don't lay one every day, but almost every day. 6 eggs a week. This one, we didn't read in a book, but we got to see it in person. How big is chicken poop? So, we know we saw the chicken poop on the video when we were watching them. Not very big. Kind of just almost like a bird poop. Exactly like a bird poop or a robin poop that you would see. But has a little bit of white in it, but also some brown too. And the last one, what do chicks eat and drink? So they do have water, But remember, they also eat seeds and little bugs, and they would eat corn. And when I got a chance to drop off the chicks at a farm, I learned they'll pretty much eat anything. They were eating dandelions. They're not picky. They will peck at and eat just about anything. Okay? All right, so our next thing is we are going to wrap up the chick unit by making our own chick. Okay? So I'm going to pause the video while I change to my iPad or get all my materials ready. I want you to go do the same, and then we'll make our chick. All right, so hopefully you grabbed your materials. I have mine. I'm going to be honest with you. Miss Pittman made a mistake. Miss Pittman did not grab my chicken from school. So the last time I did this art project was with the kids last year, and I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes, and I really wish I had my example, but I don't. So I'm going to be flexible, do my best, try and remember, but oh, I should have grabbed the chicken from school. All right, so I already did some things, and let me tell you, it's going to be best if you pause me sometimes, okay? I'm going to give you different jobs to do, and if you need to pause me while I give you these directions, that's totally okay. You can always come back and re-watch or re-listen or push play for the next step. But the things I've already done, because I didn't want you to watch me because it would be kind of boring, I cut out the head on a piece of paper. It's already traced for you. I cut out these 2 eggs, okay? Well, they're egg-shaped. One of them is actually, this one is going to be the chick's body, okay? So I'm going to glue the head onto the body. Now, I really wish I had a glue stick because those are just, they dry faster, they're not as messy, but I don't. So since I just have my glue, I'm going to put a little glue at the bottom of his head, and I'm going to put it on there. Remember, we always try and count, usually in our head, so as not to disturb the other people, but I'm going to count and push. And there, I have my chicken's head on my chick body. Now, this other egg, okay, I actually folded it in half, okay? And then this is gonna be its wings, okay? So I'm gonna cut kind of in a zigzag. Does it need to be perfect? No. If you wanna get a pencil and make some zigzag lines and then cut on those, great. You can do whatever works for you, okay? But I just cut in a zigzag pattern, just like that. And now I'm going to glue on my wings. So I have my wing. You could just glue them on just how they are, but I'm going to fold a little bit of it. Oh, it's kind of hard to see like this. And then I'm going to put glue on that little piece. And I'm going to glue that onto the side. I'll kind of show you. It'll make more sense. Glue is just always so hard. I need to make a note. Next time I go to Target, Miss Pittman, get a glue stick, okay? So, fold this one in half, or a little bit at the bottom, and glue it on. So, when you see it, the wings could kind of flap open, okay? See, just a little bit part of it is glued on. They can close, they can open. If we were at Pinewood, I would do a hole punch and I would hang these from the ceiling, okay? So it'd be like little chicks up on our ceiling, okay? So you have your chick body. Like I said, you can put the wings down however you want. Maybe you don't have glue or glue stick and you want to just tape. That's fine too. All right, next up you have a square, and you will fold your square in half so it looks like a triangle. And on one part of the triangle, you will put glue, because you will put that on as its beak, okay? So now my chick is starting to look more and more like a chick. The last thing I'm going to do is the eyes. And let me tell you, there's two orange rectangles. I don't remember what those are for. I don't know. Maybe they're just extras. I don't know. So we're going to do the beak and we're going to do the eyes. If you want to do something cool, maybe you can think of something clever to do with those orange rectangles on the chicken. I just remembered. Oh, I'm so glad. Their feet. They're their little feet. I have them right over here. I'm going to grab them. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered. I could not figure out what they were for. So I'm going to cut a little triangle on the bottom. So they look like that. And another little triangle at the bottom. Oh, I can't believe I couldn't remember they were feet. Gosh, Miss Pittman. So glad. Okay, and then those are going to be glued on the bottom where the chick's feet would go. Oh, so happy. I love when I remember things. Bet you guys do too. Like if I'm missing something at my house and I cannot find it. Like I was missing my charger to my computer and I'm like, I know I had it somewhere. Where did I put it? And then all of a sudden when it comes to you and you remember, that's the best. Remember, I'm counting to 10 while I push. So, here's my chick. Here's his feet. Remember, the wings can fold in. Or you could just glue your wings on and have them just be like that so they're permanently open. Okay? It's kind of however you want to do it. Now the eyes. Okay? You have 2 squares. And I'm going to cut some circles. Now, remember, I'm 34 years old. I've been cutting for probably 30 years. So I like to put my 2 together to save me some time. But you'd probably do one at a time because you haven't been cutting for 30 years. But I'm just going to, you could use a pencil and draw a circle. Or have a brother or sister make a circle for you. Cut them out. These should be kind of bigger circles because the white part of your eye is bigger than the black part, the pupil. So when you make the white circles, make sure you make them bigger, okay? And you also only have 1 black rectangle because you are going to make 2 little pupils out of those, and they're just small, okay? So you have to make sure that they're smaller than the white part, okay? Again, might be easier or better for you if you just use a pencil or a white crayon and make a circle on there. You need to get 2 circles from the black rectangle, okay? Then I add my glue or your glue stick, and then we're about done. Maybe you're gonna wanna name your chick Mario or Dr. Chicken or Lulu. You can pick whichever one you want, and then you can keep it and put it somewhere in your house or have it in your room, wherever you want. But our chicken is done, okay? There it is, all right? So, good luck with that. Your next job today after you do the art project is to have out your map packet, okay? So remember, this was in there too. It says, My Book of Map Skills. You're gonna wanna put your name on it, so remember it was yours. And then you're gonna turn to the first page. And on the first page it says, this is me. My name is, so you'll put your name again, and then you're going to draw a picture of yourself. Now, remember, when we draw pictures of ourselves, remember that we want to include all of our body parts, okay? This is something Cam's working on. So we have a head, we want to make sure we have eyes and eyelashes and eyebrows, we have noses and a mouth. Sometimes you can see our ears. My ears, you would not be able to see. If I were drawing Cam, we would see his ears because his hair is short, okay? We have necks. Don't forget our clothing, okay? And depending on time, you might have time to do a background, okay? Yesterday, like I said, Cam is working on drawing people. That's something that's really hard for him. And it might be hard for you too. And the only way you're going to get better is by practicing. And so he actually drew a picture of me and him, and he drew us at the zoo in front of the Komodo dragons, which are his favorite animals. So, again, if you have time, and you might not have time, but if you do, you could draw yourself in a background, okay? Because we are going to be talking all about ourselves and maps in our next unit, okay? So, those are your 2 literacy projects. Oh, I forgot. Clean up when you're done. Oh, this is just like stations at school. When you make a mess, pick up the trash, throw it in the garbage. Your mom and dad don't want to find little pieces all over their house. Close the glues, put your scissors away. So I'm going to go do that so my family doesn't get disappointed in me for not cleaning up because We always got to clean up, right? All right, good luck with your 2 projects today.